Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming, and this is from the Depths campaign where I'm just chilling out at Kiel, building the next little fleet to be put up against the Deepwater Guard, but we'll have a look at those once they're ready to be brought in. You can see there's some new big ships as well as some support ships to act as a little fleet. There's a few more as well I'll build up, but we'll go through them all and their history, because I like to do things with a little bit of history about the ships as well, when they are ready to go out on your fleet. But before that, first of all, thank you for all the comments about defences and next stages after the last video, and I had a little think about it and a last little look through, and what I decided is that to be honest, it was one ship that caught me by surprise, and some of that is because of the options. If we just go and have a look at options in the campaign config, you see this quite challenging 0.7 we're at now, because I'm increasing it each time. What I think this is doing now, people can confirm this to me, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. The old system, it had a slider which just basically said, were they building easy, medium, hard or godly, now super godly, but godly ships, and that's all basically it was doing, which ones they build. I think the new one is, what is the chance of building everything up to a godly? So we just happened to come across the rapier. It was a godly design. That was the one that caught us out because it had everything. It had shields, it had torpedoes with homing torpedoes, it had radar guided missile swarms, it had quadruple octuple 40mm AA, it had its own decoys. I mean, it's a godly design. I'm not complaining about that. It's a godly design. That's what it's intended to do. It's intended to be very tough, and yeah, basically that's why it caused so much havoc with various ships. The other one we had was a pilferer, which was, I think, is only a medium level design. Its APS caused a bit of a problem, but nothing too much. The Coffin Nail as well, flying one, I think that's a medium. Again, nothing too unusual. It might even be an easy, but anyway, nothing too unusual, and they didn't really cause problems. It was the rapier's missiles which gave me the shock, which is why we did the video on simple weapons versus mediums. Now, okay, I'm going to keep going on this campaign options. Now, one thing to explain, why haven't I got this all on high, etc, etc. The idea of this campaign is to show all of the enemy different craft which are to go against. So that's why I want lots of easy ones, medium, hard, difficult ones. So that is one I want to show. I don't want just godly. This isn't a challenge campaign where I just set everything on hard and can I beat everything at godly mode. That's just not what I'm doing here. The other one is I wanted to build historical air ships, so build the ships up incrementally. So at the moment we're at the pre-dreadnought stage, and I want to go to the pre-dreadnought stage next. And in my testing, I had tested these ships out against easium and medium. I had not tested them out against godly. So I need to change that and make sure that some of my designs can at least stand up against the godly, and maybe the godly will be will cause havoc in my in the fleets. That's fair enough to say. I think we're going to have a lot of potential godly designs at sometimes coming against us. Well, let's take that back. We'll occasionally have a godly design come across us which will cause havoc in the fleet. I'll take that. That's way it goes. Okay, on defending against that, I looking at the anti-missile stuff we did, without going to interceptor missiles or some weird design, I couldn't find anything that fitted in the historical. Yes, we found the 30mm cannons worked, but to really work against something like the Rapier with missile spam, I'd have to have so many it looked ugly. So what I've gone is the decoy route. So I think this one, no, I'm only going on the decoys on cruisers, which is this one's going to be, and so I've modified the Abysso to put a radar decoy, a couple of heat decoys, and also some torpedo decoys with the relevant detectors and other extras to make those work. So that's the route I've gone for the moment, because it's in keeping and doesn't look wrong too much, you know. Other one is I'm going to have a minor sort of rule change of my own to say, if you use it against me, I'm going to use it against you. Within reason, and I'm going to justify it. So for instance, the Coffin Nail we downed was thing. Let me just get to a right place and I'll just explain that, bear with me. So the Coffin Nail we took down, we were able to take some of the tech from that and use it in our own designs. So for instance here, this is the Scout, the LZ1 Scout, and it's now running at a nice 371 meters high. As an example, it's still doing some repairs, but one of those reasons is we have put some upward facing dedicated heli blades. So yeah, I wanted to keep these as lighter than air where possible. It wasn't always possible, so I have given them the upward, but I've done it based on the fact of we captured the information from the Coffin Nail and was able to reverse engineer it and adapt it to our own ships. Likewise, the Rapier and also I think it was the Pilferer used homing torpedoes, so we took the homing torpedo data and used it in my own ships. So now most of the ships now have some sort of homing torpedo, which has reduced their effectiveness, but which should increase their reduce their blast damage by taking away a potential HE warhead, but maybe increase their effectiveness by hitting more often. So anyway, and that's my justifications, but I'm not using advanced guidance or anything else like that. Just put a basic homing torpedo on them. So that's going to be my rationale in some of these sort of instances of how I shall increase my tech within the various vehicles I'm building. So with all of that said, we'll go through a couple of the changes on the ships as I get into battles with them, but the current map situation is the Northern Scout Squadron. I'm pulling them out of this area. They will be the main defense against any Onyx Watch incursions. They've got a reasonable speed to be able to capture things. I am going to take this other square up the north here just so that I can get into the and I might follow the coastline and take the northern coastline of the Onyx Watch, because I want them, and so I can get a different route into the deep water guard. Other areas are generally rebuilding at the moment. The LZ2 was also updated and is a much higher altitude, and I've also changed all the weapons on it. Not all the weapons, a lot of the weapons, so it's a somewhat different ship. We'll be able to see that when that comes in. I've called it a LZ2 high altitude, but we've got the Scout Squadron, which will still be using against this to scout forward. Even once this main fleet is built up, we'll potentially use them to go forward. The air group is building up once more. They are just about built, and I'm going to use them as a little bit more mass tactics and keep them at the back. The biggest problem they had last time is they were at the back and there wasn't enough of them. I think the air wing has got to be sort of mass tactics to some degree, so we'll look at that later. Final one is I have got some plans for the Onyx Watch. We'll leave the Northern Scout Squadron to defend it for the moment, but I have other plans. It's a little bit of a I don't necessarily like doing it. It's a bit of a hard counter to the Onyx Watch, but it's also something I really enjoy building in from them, so that will come out later as and when we need. But for the moment, I'm going to let all these fleets build up until we've got something which we can fight against. Now, whilst we are still building up forces, we have a couple of battles coming ahead by the looks of it. The Deepwater Guard are sending a Coffin Nail, which is okay against us, and also a Jacob's Scorn, and they're going for 3-1, which means this square here they're aiming for, I reckon. It's handy they tell you what they're planning to do. Oh, he's going for 4-0, so he's going for there, Coffin Nail's going in there, and the Jacob's Scorn is going into there, I guess. So anyway, we will intercept them, but also, first of all though, I'm gonna have a go at this Onyx Watch here. That Buttress is trying to take 0-2. I can't let them try and get in here. So the Northern Squad with its torpedoes will be, and we've just lost sight of them, will be defending that. So actually, I think we're going to be attacking the Deepwater Guard first, because we're going to lose sight of them for the moment. Yeah, okay. Now, the other thing is I'm going to try and protect us from that. Something that was annoying to me was the enemy would suddenly really close up on you at the beginning of a battle, whether you wanted them to or not. So to try and mitigate that, what I'm going to do is have my High Seas air group back, send a Scout Squadron that will initiate the combat, and that will draw them in close. To show what I mean is here you see how that red square is gonna close all the way up to my green square here. Oh, it went most of the way, didn't go all of the way. I guess it's the edge of their equivalent to their green ring. But I am going to bring in, they are significantly, I'm going to bring in my LZ2 against the Coffin Nail. I think it should be okay to have a go at it, and we've doubled their force now. But one thing is, I don't want the VACT to come in, because as you can see, it's actually not really suitable. So we'll bring in LZ2 and the fighters. Let's do this like this. Okay, so it took me a little bit to work out that one. As I say, don't like the new queuing system. It's not as good as the old one. Ugh. Anyway, so LZ2 in first, fighters and bombers in first, although actually it's only really the fighters I'm interested in, and then the torpedo boats and the VACT, which is basically still building, will come in at the end of the game, so it doesn't sort of just destroy itself straight away. I shall go on to the LZ first. We'll set up from there and let's begin the battle. Yeah, I know about that, because it may still have actually brought in the VACT, which would be a bit annoying. So okay, we should go into combat mode. Are we at full speed? Oh yeah, we are at full speed. It felt like we were still stuck at a slow speed where I'd had the map at 0.1, but I think we are at full speed. So changes here, I've put a flat gun on the front and a 6-inch 50mm 150mm on the rear, with some interesting sort of I've actually experimented with a slightly different shell to normal. If I can get it to appear up here. I think if I've done it's a heavy nosed with a shaped charge. Yeah, just basically try to get some damage going in the inside of the enemy. This again, also we have got spinners in here, and also the bottom ones are no longer plates. I've actually used angled alloy to try and get a bit more protection to the bottom, and finally put up some metal joint to stop that going down, and finally a decoy. So hopefully this should stand up to a little bit more damage than it was before. Let's go and have a look how the planes are doing at the moment. These should be the fighters. He's got flak weapons. Now I think if he's got flak weapons, the fighters are not going to do well against him. Where are they from? Yeah, it's this big flak weapon here. That's just going to rip my planes apart, unfortunately. So we are down to what can be done with the LZ2, unfortunately. The other fighters are not going to try and get into the battle because he's too low. So we are down to the LZ2. Now we have got, by the looks of it, what I am going to bring some of the torpedo boats in because they did do quite a good job last time. Yes, those 60 mils from the torpedo boats are doing right. Now he is actually got higher than my LZ2 here, so he can't get his lower guns weapons working, which means he is getting somewhat blasted from the top. Oh well, that happens. But he's acting as a bit of a damage pinata for the Coffin Nail for the moment. Fair enough. Oh, he has actually gone down. Coffin Nail took a critical hit, I'm guessing. I don't know if it was the 30 mils or the massed guns of the S7. So the S7s, they're basically the same. They have got guided torpedoes. I did debate whether to change that rear gun, but I left the quad 60s. And Coffin Nail's down. Okay. It sort of works. Damage, basic concept. This one holds them back. The others sort of dish the damage. A bit of damage there, which I could have done without. We have got this Jacob Scorn, so we will be trying to get these back up and running. We'll get the fighters restarted, rebuilt. They didn't do well against the Coffin Nail, but something like this Jacob Scorn, maybe they'll proceed better. We still can't see the Onyx Watch, so I'll take out this same process, and I will take out the Jacob Scorn before it does any damage to us. I'm going to take this out at long range, I think. Might as well. Fortunately, didn't get the air group in on this one. The LZ2 is still damaged. I'm going to take out the VAT. The LZ2 is still damaged, but its weaponry is still okay. Most of the damage is just to the balloon area, so hopefully it can get some basically resources by taking on this ship. So okay, we've got our 150 mils going ahead, and also the torpedo boats. Hopefully we'll get in close and do some damage. Let's just check on the pathing. You can see everybody's going for a for want of a better word. They're heading towards the Jacob Scorn. We'll go and have a look at the Jacob Scorn in a second. That's right, we'll just go down here whilst even with those lines there. We can see what's where the plan, the course of the ships are. And you're not to be as much of a problem as I thought. Yes, excuse me, you seem to be Australian. You're upside down. What is the matter with you? Did you not realise you were in the northern continent or something? Yeah, I'm not expecting as much problem from that very wicked what should we say, barb on the front, and we can see some torpedoes, guided torpedoes coming in now. This thing on the front can be very damaging. Once it gets close, it extends out, and I think it rotates and just basically maces you to death, which is damnably annoying. Okay, so this is just going to be a damage pinata for us, which is good. We can get some resources and rebuild ourselves with some resources from the battle, which is a good thing. Hopefully the LZ2 will get a good damage run this time, and we'll see those nice big cannons fire out rather than just using the 150 on the rear. It is doing some nice damage. We are getting various blocks coming out. It's a bit jiggly, this thing, because it's upside down, but hey ho. Didn't get close. Oh, there's his crams. Oh, nice hit. Only the rear ones managed to fire off. Oh no, we've got some more coming in. They missed, unfortunately. It's not quite big enough, I think, for those cram bombs, but if they did hit, which they did on one side, they do a good amount of damage, which is nice to see. Where's my come on guys, I need more torpedoes from you. The boats are, ooh, I just thought, are you out of resources? They're out of materials, which means they've got no basic steam power. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Okay, so it is down to purely the LZ2 here, because they've got no ammo left and no resources at all. So, okay, has the LZ2 got any resources available? At least it can still fly, because most of the items don't require engine power, and at least the guns have whatever's loaded in them already, so they should have some power to do some damage. So ooh, yeah, could be a stalemate. Let's, fingers crossed, I've got enough left. Yeah, I've got no materials in the ship at all either. Problem. Part of the new game mechanics with you're not having a separate ammo storage, separate fuel storage, it's all resources. So everything has to be done by the resources. Yes, you can set priorities like don't reload if resources are below a certain level, but in this type of environment where I'm problematic, shall we say, and there's the gun run out, so yeah, what can I do? Let's see, you've got 17 shots left, so at least he has some rounds left in the gun, but he's not going to fire. You've got no shells, and we've got no resources for more shells, and yeah, that's a problem. And even the enemy can't do anything about us because he's upside down. How do you resolve that in the campaign? I have to end the battle because he can't win, I can't win. Oh, the cram is still firing. Maybe I'll get some shots. And that gave me some resources. Okay, so which is fine. So maybe I need to stop repairs on myself. Oh, my battle has finished. It has given it to me. Excellent, which gave me some resources. We have got another 3,000 resources. Actually, I'm going to send the Zeppelin over to pick those resources up. And then come back to here.
Moving out.
Okay. Resources. They are critical. And yeah, can end up. That was a lucky I got that kill right at the end, that destruction. Otherwise that could have been another problematic little battle. So whilst waiting for our ships to build up, we have got enough materials on the Northern squad to ensure they have ammo and fuel for the engines to be able to take on this Buttress. So we're going to go for this battle here. Resources obviously being somewhat important. Now the Buttress hasn't moved, so its AI must be not to close for whatever reason. Fine by me. We'll get onto the SMS Yagd and we will begin battle. I'm expecting the weather to be a little bit more challenging here. So changes just overall to the, this is the Yagd, which is the SMS VACT. Changes I made in light of, I think I'm on weapons. Hang on a second here. Yeah, I was. Moved some of the detection equipment around. We have, if they start doing missiles, we've got heat decoys on the end and a radar decoy on the top. And there is ACBs, they're actually in the bottom of the funnel, which say if missiles are detected, then turn the decoys on. I put an 88 flank gun. I thought that's something that actually in World War One they did do when aircraft started to become more prevalent, or airships in my area. They did retrofit a lot of ships by putting a flak capable gun onto them. Now we have, by the looks of it, got torpedoes coming in, and this does now have a when it's not out of the water, a passive sonar and a couple of sonar simulators. So it should, if those torpedoes get fairly close, let's go and have a look at them. Yep, there we go. I think we just got a fire. There we go. There's our sonar decoy coming out, which hopefully it sort of disrupted them. Yep, there they go again. Now unfortunately they're not always in the water, so it's not yep, just decoyed it just at the end. That's fine. Yes, I could put a balance tank into that. Looks like one of the torpedoes got one of my ships, or it was an incoming cram cannon. Okay, that's fine. I have torpedoes of my own being sent out. Let's see what this Buttress is like. So Buttress, it's fairly small, the Buttress, but it does have torpedoes, which was new, and does obviously mean that in the future subs would be susceptible to these as well, I guess. We're going to have to see. But hopefully these torps, come on, if they take out the that propeller on the rear. One thing I noticed, even with torps against the Onyx Watch, it takes a lot of hits. They have just so much metal in them. They will take a while to be taken out, but we'll get there in the end. There we go. We are getting through. We took one ship damage by the looks of it, and one. He's still got torpedoes incoming to him. Yes, he's okay. His Buttress is taking some. So the decoys has worked to a degree. Oh, you two are having a bit of a go get a room. Decoys have worked to a degree to help mitigate the torpedoes, but aren't a guarantee of removal. So you can see now all my torpedoes are coming in. We should get a fire coming in from here. 2 torpedoes. He's got some very large torpedoes. Mine are a little bit smaller. Does their fire? Yep. So the first torpedoes, the first part of them works on a 1 ton, and then once they get a bit closer they will go to homing. But he's now stable, so it's only a matter of, for want of a better word, it's a matter of time now. I've just got to keep hoping my decoys are working. Yep. Decoys are working in this rough sea, but it's sort of working because they are taking them off target, and then they go a bit weird, which is fine by me. Oh, his cram cannon still making the occasional. Oh, he's finished. Obviously the torpedoes were enough. Let me pull everything before it gets a little too problematic, and we will. I'm going to make sure I can get those minerals and then get back to my original plan, which is actually to take that zone there. But we are going to have to how many resources have we got? 14,000. We'll hold for the moment rebuilding that 1 torpedo boat for the moment until we've got some more resources. That would take everything I've got, which would mean I've got nothing for travel and ammo. So we hold off building the ship, because I'm just trying to remember now. Yeah, it takes 8,000. I don't want to use all of my materials here. Okay, you have
listening.
In the other area, LZ2 looks like he's fully
listening.
He's almost fully built up now, which is good.
Receiving.
The RAT and the Air Seas group is relying upon resources from here still.
Receiving.
Let's make sure we're in resource range to be able to get resources. So the RAT and the other ships will just rebuild as and when they're on defense duty. Let's see how our new main high seas fleet is doing. Our forces are still building up, but we've now got a Snapjaw, which is coming in from the Deep Water Guard, which is one we've not seen before. So we will bring in our forces. So it's closing up. So okay, that's fine. Now the RAT will still try and be last. We will bring in the LZ2, and I am going to try and bring in the High Seas Air Group. Why is that added that in as lots of individuals? That's annoying, but some of them not. Okay, it must be from a previous order that we had them in, I guess. Okay, now this is going to be difficult now. Let's see, can I do this? That one, they'll try and use the wand, but now when it gets to here, which one's which? Nah, this is why this mode is, I don't like it, the wand. Okay, let's ignore that. I'm gonna see, I don't need the bombers. Okay, LZ2. Okay, let's start from the end. We want the RAT as the last one, Oswald the next last one, the torpedo bombers. Yeah, torpedo bombers. Then the next last one we want would be the dive bombers. Next we'll have in the LZ2, then the torpedo boats, and torpedo boat, and then the fighters. See what it's like having to go through just to rearrange two, where if I could have dragged it to the bottom just so I could get the SMS Vact and Oswald at the bottom, I had to go through all of that. Yeah, when we were able to click here, select one and then move it to a position, much nicer UI design. Yes, I'm having to complain, don't give a shit, sorry, I don't I don't like this UI design. It's not consistent. Hopefully this will help them create a good UI design. The one before was actually, this was a better UI design. The wand in big battles, if you've got two ships, fine. When you've got a lot of vehicles like I have here, it's not good design. Right, okay, now they're going to come in, so I'm going to be fair. This is going to be also, I think, another little thing. So their total size is 6k, so I can bring in 12k. There we go. I think that's is that a fair way to run battles? Yeah, double. So I'm bringing in 12 there at the beginning against their 6k ship. Or should I put that down to 12k? Which means I'm still bringing in 3 times as much, but the ships aren't going to be massive in comparison. Now I think I'll bring it up to that 12 there, because they're bringing that in one ship. Okay, maybe have to have a think. What do you think? What is a correct scale for this? Should I just have it everything in? But I don't want to. I've got too many points here compared to their ship size, and I don't want to zerg everything. I want to have the fleets of a comparable size almost. Yes, so on fleet sizes, I want to be a comparable sort of fleet size in some ways. It's not always going to be correct, but yeah, that's my way of thinking. Right, let's go and have a look at the enemy Snapjaw. We've already got torpedoes on the way into him, and something over there for some reason. But anyway, let's go and have a Snapjaw. Oh, actually, oh no, he is a flying one. He's in the ground though. That's why I didn't bring the torpedo bombers in, because he's really low. Is it a matter of he's just not got enough height to get up? Let's have a look at him anyway. 86 materials, 86,000 materials. So actually, yeah, he's quite big, and a volume of nearly 6,000. Yeah, I think, try and remember, maybe this is medium, not easy. I think this is a medium class vessel. I'm not very good at identification and remembering exactly what level every ship is at. Unfortunately, hasn't got enough oomph to get out the water, and I don't think that's due to damage. I think that's either because he's relying on his balloons. What he needs is some helium pumps inside. If you filled this inside with some helium pumps, he would have been in the air in lickety split, no time at all. And oh, my dive bombers have actually gone in. Now I did adjust the dive bombers. Oh, he's got missile interceptors. That's interesting. So he is using missile interceptors. So that makes him, maybe he's hard, but you know, anyway, he is using missile interceptors, which is somewhat annoying. Is he using torpedo interceptors? He's not using torpedo interceptors, so torpedoes are coming in and having a go. Good design. Yeah, pity it doesn't fly. Now, part of that is, did the AI start this in the water instead of in the air? This was a known problem with previous versions, and obviously now. But the fact is, it didn't. This did not have enough whatever it needed to get out of the air. I'm sure they can have a rework of that. But it looks like we are destroying it, which means resources for me. And basically, when this defensive mode on the map, I am using it to gather resources from the Deepwater Guard as they send one ship at a time. screen's all a little bit fuzzy in that area there. I think it's, look, sheer number of whatever it is in the water there. There's a lot of red in the water. Interesting. Anyway, let's pull everything out. Let them go back to their starting positions. Hopefully the LZ2, will you go back to your starting position, or are you going to stay there? You're going to stay there. This is, yeah, okay. Let's send you back. The only way I can do is if I set this on a tiny little route there, he'll always go back to that position. Same with you. I think that it's going to waste, the problem is that will waste resources, but other than that, okay, we'll just reset him. There we go. And where's this fleet here? The High Seas Fleet. We'll send you back to there. Okay. Actually, the Rant is almost repaired. They got through okay, and the just need some extra materials for ammo, etc. At the moment, they're still a little bit short on the materials side. Let's have a check on your. Oh, that doesn't help. Just noticed the LZ2 didn't have good storage retention. No wonder it ran out of stuff. It wasn't sharing, or the other people weren't sharing with it. Hopefully that's a little bit. I like having it on 50-50. Okay, now we've got one more battle coming in, and this time it's against the Cauldron. Now the Cauldron is a much bigger adversary. 115,000. So do I need my other torpedo boat? I've got 10,000. I think I'm going to have to go with leave the materials for the attack rather than anything else, and hopefully yeah, I'm going to need it for ammo. This one's going to be a bit of a long battle. I'm hoping it's going to be some more of the same. Oh, it started off in calm because I was just in the deep water guard area, but I'm guessing these waters are going to get a little bit choppy soon, but hopefully we can get a little bit ahead. We've got torpedoes out already, long range ones. Let's have a look at the Cauldron. So Cauldron, he's got a lot of big missiles. Now these could give a problem to the ship. If these do hit, and here we go, this could be problematic. I think they're radar guided. So we have got, hopefully, let's hope the decoy will pull it off. Or has it gone into the water? No, it's still there. This could be damaging. Oh, and oh, yeah. Not what I needed. Let me just check something. Not sure if it detected them and started to power up. Let's put that power up, see if I can redirect it. Yeah, they're going to cause me a big problem because it's not redirecting them, or it's not getting up to temperature, assuming it is radar guided heavy missiles. Let's see if I can get that up to redirect some of these missiles coming in. I think they're radar guided. Oh yeah, see, they're going for this here now. That's good. That's what I want it to do. The second one, oh, ow, didn't need that one. The second one, the follow-up, it was actually worse. Okay, let's see. We might be losing this fleet to this Cauldron then if we cannot do enough damage with our torpedoes. I think he is going to basically, with missiles, and all of the testing, the small weapons, they couldn't stop against this these large missiles like this. If these are radar, now is the Cauldron a hard, or it's not godly? I think it's hard, isn't it? Yeah, nothing we've got will work against these large missiles as far as simple weaponry goes. You'd have to use medium interceptors, would be the only thing to work against these heavy missiles that I could think of. Okay, bit of a loss for us, I think, here coming up. I think this SMS Ract is going to get basically crippled, and I don't think the 2 torpedo boats are going to be this is SMS Jagged. I don't think the torpedo boats will be able to do enough damage to take it out. We'll see. I could be wrong. They might be able to damage it. But it's potentially possible. I think I'm going to have to go to plan B for Onyx Watch. Yeah, he's still... Yeah. Anytime soon he's going to be down. I'm going to transfer myself to one of the ships, one of the torpedo boats, so I can keep repairs up on that, and hopefully ensure it keeps on firing its torpedoes. Hopefully the heavy missiles won't be able to lock onto the... Oh, is that... Yeah, that's the Vact gone. I've still got... I haven't got many materials left. So the other possibility is the heavy missiles, it looks like they have got advanced targeting as well. Because they were tracking ahead. They weren't just tracking at the point and following. They were tracking ahead. So yeah, I think this is a loss. Okay, fine. We take losses as well as wins. You can't win every single battle, especially with these particular level of vessels. I think we might have to go back to Kiel and do a quick emergency building program. And as predicted, unfortunately, the Northern Scout Squadron basically got taken out. So I think we need to go for a different plan against the Onyx Watch. I'm going to have to bring back my LS1 so it doesn't get
moving out,
attacked by the Onyx Watch until I can get him built up. And against the enemy Buttress now, we have the LZ2 and the High Seas Air Group is what I've decided to go in with. So we've got quite a range of aircraft to go in there and attack with, so this could be interesting to see how they do against it. The Buttress is only small, but it's got some nasty little torpedoes, so that's why it's good against the air fleet. Onyx, again, I'm trying to remember, I think it's a medium level ship, but I'm going to put myself on the LZ2 and let's go in for this battle and see how our aircraft do against the Onyx Watch Buttress. Right, let's go and have a check. So obviously it's torpedoes. Now it has got some rapid-ish fire APS gun from memory on the back. Oh no, this is different to what I thought. This has just got the torpedoes and a cram cannon, so hopefully we should be a quick little decisive battle here, and I'm hoping our little aircraft can see some work on this one. Also the speed is at 1, which is handy. Previously on the last battle it had gone down to 0.46. That's because on the map I paused it at 0.1, and when I entered battle it stuck at the 0.1. I have put a little thing out about that, a little bug report, but obviously hasn't got fixed or isn't that important. Let's just see how the LZ2. I'm guessing the crams might miss because it's a fairly small, although that just looked like a couple of big hits. Here's a couple more. Yes, nice, nice. Its torpedoes will not be of any use, but they could catch onto the Oswald, which would be bad. And we've got some torpedoes from our torpedo bombers come in, although one of them looks like they had a bit of an accident, but that's fine. And a whole load of bombs. I did adjust the bombers to drop a little earlier, so they do drop all around the target now. A little early, could be a little earlier, but I think the magnets will generally pull it in the right direction. A few didn't get pulled over. Where's the LG2? Oh, the LZ2's over there. I was just wondering where it's gone. Are they coming in for another bomb run? Yep, some more magnet mine bombs coming in, which I think is quite good. I quite like that. Against a ship that had an APS, these would just get wiped out. Although there's enough of them to possibly give them problems. As such, I have got a JU-87 which I'll bring in later on, which does a nice dive, or used to do a nice dive bomb attack. I think that's dead. Let's pull everything out. Send the LZ2 back to its starting point, which is just within this resource zone. We're going to put it back so that it can be prepared to defend if necessary. We got the resources, I think. Yep, we got the resources, so we'll send this back also into its into a place, a defensive position. So that area is quite nice. So what I have done over the other side is I've sent out my Wolfpack. Is going to try and take on this Cauldron. I sacrificed most of the ships from the new fleet, the home fleet, to build this Wolfpack. I think they will be better against this Cauldron. So hopefully they will be able to catch up. If I put them onto a higher speed, let's see if they go up to their 13 meters a second. We'll see if we can catch up with this Cauldron. So this is my U-19 inspired ship. So the U-19 was from about I think it was about 1906, 1910. So it's a little later than some of the ships, but it was in the World War I U-boat. It was a sea-going one rather than a coastal one, sorry, an ocean-going one. Was very successful in a number of tours out attacking enemy shipping, which is its main usage. There was quite a few of these U-19 built, not as many as in some areas, but yeah, we've got a nice little Wolfpack within the work here, taking down that Cauldron. So they are in range, so we're going to initiate the combat as quickly as possible. So if we initiate combat, and then he hasn't moved, which is good, so we're bringing everything in. Begin battle. Now actually here he is bigger than us, so basic system is they start a periscope, diving straight down, and I will do a video on submarines, how I do all the controls and all that type of thing on my submarines. I do like them, and these do have sort of normal dive ballast tanks, trim tanks, as well as the dive planes. Now I've just used hydrofoils on these, but I'll explain all the options. I thought that worked in this particular instance. What's the range we've got at the moment? Can't see. Let's have a look at the Cauldron and see what it's showing. Yeah. So this has got heavy missiles it's firing out, which luckily can't target me. So that's a pretty we've got a good hard defense against this Cauldron. They have got flat guns on the as you can see, 88mm flat guns on top of the submarine with a super cavitation round. So they will work even when under water, and they're quite good, as you can see, of taking things off the top of the vehicle. So they've taken off those APS guns that were on the top. There's no way that they'll stop the heavy missiles and the blocks here, but we do now have torpedoes, and we've just got basic medium missile torpedoes. These are a little bit longer than you see on the torpedo boats, so they have got a nice bit of oomph. Range, yeah, about 2,500 meters, I think. They're not super long range torpedoes, but they're quite fast and accurate. And with 3 of them firing, they got 2 per in the bow of each ship, which was correct for the U-19, and also 2 in the rear. The rear are the submarines aren't a hard. In this particular case, the Cauldron does not have many options to attack the U-19s, quite simply, because it's missile armed. If it was cram armed, a lot of the cram armed, they still can damage the Onyx Watch submarines, as long as you've got your, which I have, I've got the automatic detection rate not at 0, so they're not, submarines are not totally invisible to surface ships. So eventually, if they fire enough cram cannons out, they will kill you, basically. The other ship, 2 other specific ships, the Buttress, is a problem. Those heavy torpedoes, even with decoys on my submarines, are nasty. Eventually they hit, and they really do damage when they hit. They are a nasty missile it fires out. So yeah, that's not something you want. That's a hard target for me. Sorry, a hard target to kill. The other one is the Erie, being a big flying hunk of metal. That will also cause me a very bad day, let's say. Now I'm guessing at the moment, let's just check something. So down in here I've got lots of controls being used for this ship, and I need to check a couple of things. So predictably, we did get through that little battle with the Onyx Watch with our new Wolfpack, and we will bring them up to defend this area now. I think we'll send them into there, and then we'll set them up in this square and use them to chase down any enemy. Like we've got a Harlech. Now a Harlech, I can't remember which level that is, but that's another nice big target for us. So that's the end of this one. There's something not quite right with the subs. They weren't diving down, they were just staying at periscope depth, and they should go down to about 50 meters. For some reason they were not. Now I don't know if that's a difference between designer and the campaign mode. We'll find that out later. I've got another battle. I'm going to pause this because we've got another battle coming up over here, and I don't want to do that one just yet. It's just the Marauder, so I'll just run that one separately. No need to film that. The main things in this battle were, we have subs in play. Wolfpack against the Onyx Watch. We do have a new fleet, but I'm going to have to build from scratch. The Onyx Watch took out one of my main fleets, which was not happy, but that's the way this game goes, because I'm giving myself quite a lot of little rules to work against. Some of this is the options in the campaign. It's this could be difficult. I'm going to have a little bit of a not a rant, but it's difficult for new players that were playing this. escalation level doesn't seem to be steady. I know they're trying to do with the AI, it's random and they sometimes throw a godly in there, but it will destroy players, especially at the beginning when you've got very little resources, and you're maybe not good at building ships. Now I'm setting my own limits, so that's why my ships are not built to go against hard, godly, etc. like that. I'm setting my own difficulties in this game. But as a new player, at the moment you'd have to really know what you're doing to go against some of these ships. The fact we're getting already on Onyx Watch ships with large advanced guided torpedoes, and that's only at medium level, that would mean you would have to have already worked out medium torpedo interceptors to do that, or built really big ships. Your average player, starter, and I don't mean average player, I mean starter player, yeah. Okay, I'll explain this in a different way. In my feeling, if this was a good old D&D dungeon type style, which I've done for many years and many different. So I'd be a game master. A game master's idea is to give the players a narrative which they can only just beat. So it's a challenge. The idea is not to kill. I remember playing with some people who weren't experienced at doing this, and it was what we used to call killer dungeons, in that the dungeon would be they were happy if they could kill me. The basic to be simple, which is not the name of the game, really. You're not trying to kill everybody, you're trying to give a good experience for everybody. At the moment, I mean, I'm enjoying this and it's a challenge, which is good. I think a new player, do you think noobs, when you first started this game, would think, oh, that's impossible, sod that, they don't understand all the settings, they could very easily set this up to be too hard, get wiped out and never play the game again? And that's what I fear, is especially with new players coming in, would they be able to succeed in such a challenging AI if you don't know how to build ships? Thoughts? Anyway, this is still my experience, and don't forget, this AI they're still working at, so this is just at this level. Maybe do you think the enemy have escalated too quickly compared to the settings I've got in campaign, or is this about right? And am I just ranting, or is this some valid points? Don't forget, put your head on here not as an experienced player, for those that are watching, but as a new starter player. That's what you need to think about for the longevity of games, and for the game to continue being worked on, developed, expanded, made better, etc. We need this game to get more players, which means new players. You need new players coming into this game to pay money to keep this all going and developing and evolving. So that's my thoughts. I'm still going to play it. I'm not changing. I will make my way through this. It's good, it's a challenge. But that's the end of rant and the end of this play session. So until next time, leave comments down below about the ships, my rant, all the rest of it. But above all, have fun.